Hello?
Just do one of these bad boys and
Depicting Ukraine taking down Putin.
Russian tactics is to be a complete idiot.
This is going to be a heavy one. This vlog is going to be heavy. Morning. We are going on a little outing today. So this is my Airbnb, temporarily. Be moving out soon, hopefully. And yeah, but my friend is coming to get us. So he's going to meet us and then drive us to another town, actually, where we're going to see some things. So let's go. Okay, I made it. This is cafe. So we're gonna get a quick coffee. Можно американо? С собой. Alright, coffee acquired. Now just wait for my friend. Yep. Morning.
Literally no traffic until I pull up, and then the freaking
Right. Okay, so this is my buddy Johnny.
Hey,
he's a volunteer here in Ukraine, and he's my driver, my guide today. And yeah, he's gonna show us some interesting places. So yeah. So making a little rest stop, get some coffee and some drinks.
no mines or anything. The only thing is like it's all sharp, so just be careful.
Okay, so we've come to a column of Russian vehicles that was destroyed by the Ukrainians when it was trying to reach Kyiv.
Both civilians, volunteers, and the National Guard. Basically, everybody came together and did whatever they could to stop this from coming into their county.
Yeah. This is a turret of a tank. This stuff is probably from people afterwards. So this was from the early day, the first attack on Kyiv, yeah?
Yep. Would all be in it.
Yeah.
But then they started just going on top of it because it's like a good ride over terrain and stuff.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't be like stuck in it if it hit a mine. But there's no safe place. Like
Right, yeah, the
if
top.
you're inside of it and it hits a mine, then
So 12 guys, each one.
max.
Max.
So,
Assuming when they rolled in they had 12 each, and there's like, how many here? Probably 5? So
yeah,
60 guys
plus tanks.
And this whole column got hit right away?
So infantry would be with them too.
Yeah.
No, it was like back and forth. It was a stand-up fight for sure. A lot of it was just anti-tank rounds, anti-tank RPGs.
Okay.
The smaller single-use anti-tank launchers.
Getting a quick workout in. Oh yeah, when it comes down, it gets some momentum.
Yeah.
Hello? Nobody there? Weird.
What's the
Back
name?
on the trail. Okay, we've arrived in the small town of Borodyanka. And here we have this mural. Go ahead. No, you're good. We have this mural of David versus Goliath. Yeah, the date of creation is October 30th, 22. Oh yeah, I see that red line in there. This is a David versus Goliath Ukrainian version, depicting Ukraine taking down Putin. Got some nice scratches in it.
This is a residential building, and then it had a direct hit from Iskander missile. Intentionally targeted these for attack by the Russians. It's literally just families. There's a playground over there and a elementary school on the other side of this. When we go down the road, you'll see that literally like everybody is just a nice little family, very quiet town. A lot of people died in this attack, and when we go in there, there's just still belongings and stuff in there. So it's just good. I think this type of stuff, it's hard to put into words. So just showing you what happened is really, really important because not a lot of people have access to this and are able to actually see it in person. So
You see like the dishes, pots and pans, furniture.
Or this like a bed.
It's just people were just living here and they got bombed.
This is somebody's house.
Stove.
Just kitchen area.
Yeah. Children's play toy. More kids' toys, like dog toys.
Yeah.
Somebody's kitchen.
I didn't think it would move me that much.
Yeah.
It's somebody's.
It's really hard.
Each level is, somebody's different life. You work your whole life to buy these little knickknacks and
Yeah.
to decorate and
To build a home.
yeah, your family has, your grandma gave you this little thing. It may not be of value monetarily, but a lot of stuff means a lot to somebody.
Yes, thank you.
There's a view over here. The railing's not reliable, so
Don't rely on it.
don't rely on it.
Shit.
It's kind of scary to do,
Yeah, I don't really. I don't know. I've been wanting to talk a bit more in my vlogs, give a little bit more of my personality, but in this one I'm not really sure if I've got much to say about this sort of stuff, because I mean, it's just really terrible.
Oh, there's a more dramatic angle.
It is.
Like you're saying, it's just a sleepy town.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Just
well,
where people's families and babushkas lived, and
yeah. Families, you got your little stores, and nothing really going on, just agriculture,
yeah.
drivers and taxi people, very, just normal, very, very sleepy, slow-paced town.
Most definitely not a military target.
No. Right. And there's some that are like, oh, there's a military base here or whatever, but like this is literally just people like, trying to live. You gotta climb up those stairs and do all this stuff and climb over like glass and fight, breathe all that dust and stuff. So, yeah, it's. That's one thing I recommended this tour, because it's extremely immersive. You go through this, you go see all these individual families' lives and stuff that were destroyed, and then you get to the top, you get out into the sunlight, and then you see this bird's eye view of like, oh yeah, like there's a playgrounds and the elementary school and like, just families and beautiful farmlands. And I mean, Ukrainians are classically like just relaxed. They're not in a rush to do stuff. And I don't know, anybody that says that we're attacking Russia is just like, why would they do that?
Yeah.
There's no reason. Here can convey a lot more than any words anybody could say, so I honestly appreciate you guys for coming to this.
Thanks for bringing us.
Thanks, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really immersive, man.
It's really
Different than watching it on the screen.
Yeah.
Definitely.
One thing the U.S. Army or anything hasn't figured out is how to tell who's gonna be good under artillery fire.
Yeah.
Because when a incoming round hits close to you, there's just this natural reaction, and like you thought that you have had adrenaline at one point in your life. You've gone to like roller coasters and all this stuff, but there's this like, it's like you're surprised at your own reaction where you like can't use your it's alarming. You can't use your fingers or like think of anything. You're like absolutely shaking and you can't think, so you're just trying to remember like, oh, what was I doing? I gotta go or whatever. So like, you can't I don't know how to train for that. I don't think anybody does, but like in movies versus a real life explosion where somebody's actively trying to kill you, there's no, you can't, either you cannot explain that in words, you can't train for that. Actual, this is from the actual rocket or something.
The Iskander.
The way that it is, because the thinner stuff is from like the corrugated metal, but that thick, gnarled, melted stuff, like this one.
Yeah, this little one.
It looks like it almost had like threaded portion or whatever. It's like actual shrapnel. This is the stuff that's it's like a shotgun blast, and it goes everywhere immediately. You can't hide from it, and it'll hit you wherever it hits you. And that's another thing. You could be like SEAL Team 6 tough guy, but when a artillery round comes in, it chooses for you who's gonna go home that night, you know, like, and you know, there's no telling, like, it could hit your plate, it could hit like the edge of your plate, it could hit just right in the most perfect spot to go right into like your heart, and or like right in between your helmet, and there's just no way to tell who's gonna get it. So that's one thing that's the most terrifying thing. You just try not to think about. You're like, it's the luck of the draw. Like, the only way to guarantee is like to be outside of artillery range, but if you're inside, they just shoot at the town, you know. And sometimes they'll try to target you, and if you go like a specific speed, they technically could like hit your vehicle or whatever, but like more often than not, it's just random shots at a town that you could be in. So just do one of these bad boys and go.
Now we've come to another building, apartment block here, that was hit just a little few blocks down the road from the other one. Same town. You can see how it looks. Got the playground here. This sign, help us to restore our house. You can see this house here, this one here. Yeah. It's crazy. It's important to come see this stuff. I mean, just because, you know, when you're in Kyiv and everything's feeling kind of normal, except for the air raids. But generally, you know, you see people going around, going to cafes, going to restaurants, all that. But, you know, yeah, this isn't very far. This is like a 40-minute drive. And you've got this. This is the plaque for the gymnast Banksy there that we were looking at earlier. We've just come to the other side. Now we're here. You can see it just there.
Town, there's stories of child abuse, rape, torture, executions, and basically they strip all of their resources away, all the food and water, and they control all of the resources in the town, and then they make people go against their neighbors and all. It's really, really messed up. Stuff in front of their family, they do stuff. It's yeah. And it's not just one time, it's every single occupied town.
It's a pattern.
Yeah, it's not just a couple
Not
of
just
bad
not a few bad scenes, not an isolated incident. Like,
Russians, they fully believe that Ukrainians are less human and they don't belong. They shouldn't be allowed to exist, and they feel when they're there that, oh, it's not a human, so I can do these horrible things to them. Like Izium, they had a torture chamber in the police station where they had like electric leads coming in, and they would test it on this metal cabinet, and then there's like blood all over, and there's a mound of like 700 past ID card things, booklets. I was like, oh fuck, they gotta figure out where these, you know, like the owners of these IDs or whatever. But then I didn't understand, like, oh, they're dead. They're all dead, like this pile of ID cards, and they're in the mass grave down the road. There's like over 700 people, and they were just civilians, like.
so this is the famous Irpin bridge that people were escaping from the battle there, going this way to Kiev. So that those clips on the news of people crossing, there's that wooden bridge that they had makeshift made for people to escape right there. So, yeah. Wow. It's weird being here after seeing everything. You know, you see it on the news and it's just, I don't know, it's weird being here. So one thing that's really surprised me is just exactly how close the Russians got to Kyiv. Like, you see it on the map, you see Irpin, Bucha, and it doesn't look like it's like right there, but it's right next to Kyiv. I mean, they were right at the door. So yeah, crazy.
Well, you could see all of these trees. See that tree and that tree.
Oh yeah.
That tree. And that one.
You can see
All of these
the
benches
damage
are
from the
new,
bullets.
And that light pole.
Oh yeah. Man.
You could tell the exit.
Yeah, so it's coming from.
Wow. So when the Russians were invading Bucha, when they arrived to this square, they thought that this was an active operational military vehicle. So then they fired at it, gave away their position, and then the Ukrainians took them out. So classic Russian tactics is to be a complete idiot.
So obviously, if you haven't figured out, this is the town of Bucha. A lot of horrible stuff happened. So, yeah. If you haven't figured out, this is going to be a heavy one. This vlog is going to be heavy. But this is Novus. It's freshly rebuilt. It was destroyed. A lot of people died there. Okay, so as we're driving around Bucha, Johnny's taking us to this street that was really infamous on all the news coverage of this place, because this is where all the dead bodies were when the Ukrainians came in and liberated the town.
This is the street?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the infamous street here, where the Russians left all the dead bodies after they had occupied the town. When the Ukrainians came in and liberated it, this was the street that was shown on the news, and yeah.
On the news they were trying to figure out, what was happening, who's doing what, and then Bucha was the first time the world found out what this invasion was going to look like, because they would shoot anything that moved. The Russians would shoot. There's one infamous video where there was just a grandpa on the bicycle. You can see all day grandpas on bicycle, examples. They're just like, taking their time riding their bike, and then, he just turns a corner, gone. And then, so this road is like there's like 8 bodies that were in the road of just civilians. And then also this road, there was civilians found with their hands tied, and they were executed, tortured. There's a mass grave by a church over there, but this road was the Bucha road. You could see pictures. If you just say Bucha Street in Google, there's a lot of pictures, and that's on this road. They've rebuilt it. Fortunately, they were able to rebuild it, but this is like the first view of what atrocities Russia was going to do to Ukrainians. Like, literally, some of these were just families that were trying to leave, and the first few days of the invasion, they would clearly write in big letters, "Children" on the car. Children. Like, I don't want to fight. I want to leave with my kids. And then any car that was moving, any person that was moving, they would shoot them. You can see, but this is all bullet holes.
Yeah.
See that? This is a larger caliber, and all of these are
small arms.
Small arms.
So they're just shooting it.
Yep.
Just peppering it.
It's hard to understand.
Yeah, this I can run.
Okay, so Johnny here gave me this tour. We met through other Johnny, and yeah, I really appreciate coming out here. I was saying how important it is that people come and see this, because there will be deniers. There will be people who say this isn't happening, it didn't happen, stuff like that. So Johnny, you also have a channel and you do some work in Eastern Ukraine, evacuating people and helping people out. So tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Johnny Rogers, the take two.
The magic of cutting things.
I'm Johnny Rogers. Oh, well.
Stop smiling.
Yeah. I'm Johnny Rogers with Ukrainian Relief Fund. Help is on the way. UA.com at Ukrainian Relief Fund on Instagram. Link down below. Thank you very much. So yeah, basically there's line 0 where the Russians and Ukrainians, the conflict line, and then there's the last Ukrainian checkpoint. So what I've been doing is helping civilians survive in that gray area. There's a very long front line, and there's a lot of towns, a lot of people out there, elderly, disabled people, cerebral palsy, mobility issues. They need first aid, they need food and water, and support. So that's what I've been doing, locating them, figuring out what they need, getting them what they need. It's a very small operation. Let's try to de-ADD this. All right, so it's a small operation. We get less than 1% of all humanitarian donations that have been given to Ukraine, and we do most of the heavy lifting on the east side of the Dnipro River in the most dangerous areas. So I'm also kind of like an auditor. The people I recommend are very trustworthy, like the traveling colonels and other associates of mine. So we are a 501c3 IRS approved nonprofit charity, so you can have the tax break if you donate. So yeah, that's kind of the spiel. We help people with medical nutrition needs and try to help them survive out here in the frontline areas. And when I have downtime, I take people on tours like this. So if you're interested and we have time, this is available. Very limited capacity, but this and actually other things you can see if you have time and money. We need money for fuel and Band-Aids and snacks and everything for the people. So
It's a great tour. Really knowledgeable guy. Took us to a lot of cool places that I definitely wouldn't have found. But yeah, man, I really appreciate you bringing us out here and showing us around. Marcus, what did you think?
Hi, I'm Marcus from Germany. I'm still not really like realizing what I've seen today. It's hard stuff. It's very, very different to see this through a screen. But then actually being here in person and seeing the stuff and the atrocities or the places where atrocities happened. As a civilian, I've never been in contact with such stuff ever. So, and as soon as we walked in these destroyed buildings and places, actually my chest got really tight, which I didn't think would happen. Actually, I was like, I could distance myself emotionally from this.
Yeah.
But then it just hit, and I was like, really like, okay, I need to breathe now. I definitely do recommend, if you have the time and resources, come here, check out the tour. It's heavy shit.
Not to mention Ukrainians really appreciate seeing foreigners here. Really appreciate it.
yeah,
So-
when they see somebody, so some people are scared to be like war tourists or whatever, but Ukrainians welcome tourists to come here because they need a witness. They need people to witness this firsthand, and it helps them feel like somebody's with them, you know, like somebody supports them. If you're here as a Westerner or anywhere you're from, you know, you're here and you're supporting Ukraine, then that really they love it. They're very welcoming, very nice people in Ukraine. It's extremely nice.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no.
Okay. So with that, I think we're probably gonna call it here from Irpin. Yeah. Comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.